I put my glasses on again because I got a positive comment on the previous video that I have made on my YouTube channel, and I just let the door open to get some fresh air from the living room, and I decluttered my room and rearranged the furniture in order for me to refresh my mind. Part of it because lately I've been quite depressed, so I really needed to change something in my room physically. That's what I saw on some articles, that if you are moving your body before your thoughts come in, then you're gonna be more productive, and the likelihood of going into negative thoughts gradually decrease over the long run. So I've been kind of doing that. And the topic that I want to talk about today is the sentence like this: you are good enough so long as you have a growth mindset. Hey Sando, why are you even talking about this right now in this moment? Then my answer would be, because that's what I wanted to share with you today. Do I sound arrogant? Do I sound pretentious? I'm not really sure about it, but I'm just gonna talk about it. When I was growing up, I would be torturing myself too much. I thought to myself, you should be more vigilant, you should be more diligent. If you didn't behave like that, your life would be a total trash and garbage. Do you want to live your life like that? How negative that thoughts are. So that's my 20s, like 20 to 25s. I've been living like that, but nowadays I came to a realization that I didn't have to behave like that. And it dawned on me that it's just it's just one of those coping mechanisms that I thought would be great for myself. And it dawned on me that everyone has been dealing with this kind of issues in their lives as well. So many of us have been dealing with some kind of depression, something like, I should get a better job, I should have done that, I should have worked out 5 times a week, I should have read a lot of books in my life, and I should have got up early in the morning, something like that. But let's think a moment why that is even happening to us. In my opinion, it's just one of those my thoughts. In my opinion, the reason why we have been dealing with these kinds of negative thoughts like every once in a while is because we are constantly comparing ourselves to others' routines, others' lives, and it just occurs to us. And there's nothing we can do about it when we take a moment to think about it, because let's say, for example, you can see kind of a lot of people who have been living their lives to the fullest on YouTube, on social media, or any platform like that. And let's imagine you wake up in the morning like 10 a.m. and then you open up your social media account, or you just directly open the YouTube channel, and then you see some randos have lived their lives to the fullest. They wake up in the morning around 6 a.m. Then our minds would be like, oh, I wasted my time, and we just compare ourselves to their life routines, which I think is even kind of impossible to apply that routine in our lives. But with that being said, we just instantly compare ourselves to their lives. And it's really detrimental to your mental health, and it's not good for your physical body as well. If you are in that vicious cycle, I might say, your mental health deteriorates, and your depression kind of goes into more severe over the long run. And that's what I call it, constant negative loop that you can be living on. How wasteful is that? How wasteful is that? It's just one of those coping mechanisms where you can spend your time, where you can be dwelling on the mistakes you made in the past and the ramification that you think is gonna happen in the future. And in that imaginary world that you just conjured up, you can be just existing, and you don't really have to think about the other circumstances and urgent assignments that you have to tackle with. And then what do you think is gonna happen next? The next is, your assignments that you have to tackle with will be accumulated over the long run, and then you feel like you don't have much time to do everything that you have to do in the future. So you can't be living in the present moment, and then this vicious cycle just goes over and over again, to the point where you eventually feel burnt out. And then you open up a social media account and YouTube and on any other social media platform, and you will see the the same kinds of contents on that platform. And what do you think? What do you think is gonna happen next? Yeah, you know that you're a clever people. I mean, you're a clever person. You're a clever girl, and a vigilant and diligent guy. Yeah, that's right. You're gonna delve into the negative thoughts again, and that's how you can ruin your life. That's how you can ruin your routine. And it just happens. So I don't want you to feel like that way, because it's okay to be naive. It's okay to be not professional at times, because every human is not perfect, and that perfectionism that you defined at the back of your head may be really bad for your mental health again. That's what people call maladaptive perfectionism. There's two kinds of perfectionisms in the world. I've seen it from some articles and books, and one of them is maladaptive perfectionist, who just constantly compares themselves to others, and don't really even take any action for their plan. They just create their perfect plans and routines that they might have collected from many other platforms. They can get some data points from books in the library, or some contents on YouTube, or even on social media, But once they have collected that information, gathered together, they feel kind of burnt out, because they used up so much brain power in the first place. So they don't even really know how to start the next step after they have collected that much of information. And that information gets overwhelming and daunting, so they just get overwhelmed, and they don't take any action for that. So even though they have learned so much from media or books, in fact, they haven't done it. They haven't done even one plan for themselves. And I was one of them, I was one of them, so I can guarantee you how detrimental that process was, how depressing then that procedure was. I was basically planning out everything that I wanted to achieve in my life. I planned out some perfect routines and future plans to change myself, and I thought to myself, oh, that would be really cool if I could be speaking, many languages in my 20s. I was trying to learn German, French, Japanese, Spanish, English, all at the same time when I was in 23 to 24, and it was just, now that I think about it, it was just unrealistic, and I tortured myself too much because of, I was too naive to learn everything, all at once. Even a genius can't do that. So, don't plan out too much, and just take one step at a time. I know it's kind of hard when you have a growth mindset. You feel like you are fall behind all of your peers because you might have been thinking that all of your peers have been going forward and pursuing for their passions in their lives, but maybe they are not. We are all humans, and they have their own struggles as well. The feeling of falling back behind comes from in our head. But if you look at that situation objectively, if you put yourself in others' shoes and see yourself in that person's perspective, what you are having and what you have been dealing with nowadays might be kind of small to them. That's how you can kind of decrease your anxiety, how to decrease your anxiety and how to cope with your negativity in your mind. Why you might ask? Because let's say you are seeing the others and you wanna help them out, but when you listen to their anxiety and problems they have been dealing with, you might think to yourself that, oh, what this guy has been dealing with is kind of small than my own struggles, and that's the very moment where you can see the problems and anxiety that you have been dealing with objectively. And then what you can do with that is you can break it down to small procedures in a way that looks kind of organized and in a sequence, and all you have to do is just tackle it one step at a time and then get rid of that burden away from your mind. And that's how you can accomplish your personal goals, and how to relieve your mind, how to relieve your pain that you might have been dealing with. And that's what I've been doing. I'm trying to wake up early in the morning, like 30 minutes early in the morning, in order for me to let myself be alone alone time to focus on the thing that I want to learn, that I wanted to learn in my life. For example, I read up on some articles that I'm currently interested in, such as AI, artificial intelligence, and deep learning. And I'm into diffusion models, which I can create, or in terms of technology, I can generate some random images from the latent, space. You don't. I don't think you can understand what I'm talking about right now. So for the ease of language, I can let myself be myself. I can be myself when I'm having my alone time. And every human needs their own alone time. Because we are so complex. Why? The reason why I think we humans are complex is because we can think. We can have deep thoughts. No matter how bad you think you are, no matter how good or intelligent you think you are, we have deep thoughts in our lives, and we want to improve ourselves in some ways. That's why people want to achieve some authority in their group, or that's the reason why people want to study a lot. That's the reason why we want to make a lot of money, because when you make a lot of money, you can help others with that money, and that could be interpreted as you have some kind of authority, and that can be impactful for others. It's kind of complex, right? Even what I'm talking right now could be a bit complex for some of you guys. I don't want you to be daunted by my words. What I wanted to share with you today is just, you're good enough. If you're good enough, so long as you have a growth mindset. Really, I've seen a lot of people who have been dealing with their perfectionisms in their lives, and there's no point where they can feel gratitude and self-worth in their lives if they don't give some kind of downtime to themselves to pat them on their head. I'm trying to pat me on the back, pat me on the head, or for what I have done. I studied like all days ever since I was discharged from military. Or to be 100% honest, when I started serving my duty for my country for 2 years, I literally studied every single day, and even until now, I have no weekends. I literally just studied like too much. And that got me thinking, why am I living like this? Why am I even doing coding? And that kind of thinking just occurs to me. The reason, and then I contemplated about it for a while, and then I came to a realization the reason why I was trying to study a lot is because I want to save the world. I want to save the world. I want to save the world with my coding skills, and I just want to apply that complex algorithms into medical field. And I was too focused on that process, so I wasn't like living in the present moment. I was just living for the future version of myself. That was the reason why I just tortured myself too much, and my mental health got deteriorated. But recently I changed my mindset. If I have done something good, I should pat me on my head. 잘했어. You have done so much. Something like that. And that I think it's a good habit. It's a good habit that you can apply to your life as well. If you're a perfectionist like me, it's really hard. It's really hard to just put one single video to put out there. And the reason is that you might have found it so naive and so unprofessional in many different ways, but that doesn't have to be that way. That doesn't have to be that way. You don't have to be a writer to be a storyteller. You don't have to be a writer to be a storyteller. Just one single your anecdote can help others' lives. That's what I have learned throughout my YouTube channel. I've run my YouTube channel for about how many years? 5 years? And I didn't really know much about what the biomedical engineering is, what the method of learning English is, but I just made a video about it and then uploaded it on my YouTube channel, and I got some positive feedbacks on that, and I was just great. I was just happy. I'm happy right now. And I can feel gratitude about how easy it is to help others in my lives. So, like, if you are trying to achieve something that you think you might have been thinking that could be useful for others, you're really doing good. You're really doing well. But I just want you to let yourself kind of feel free every once in a while. If you didn't do that kind of practice in your life, you would just I don't want to say like this, but it's my sincere advice. You would end up getting old, and you feel that gaping void in your heart. Why? Because you studied a lot, you learned a lot, you have built your own company. If you're an entrepreneur, no matter how many achievements you have made, no matter how words you have got, you will feel that gaping void in your heart, because you're gonna end up focusing on the result, not the procedure. And when you think about it, if you take a moment to think about it, the memory we can get from our lives comes from the procedure and not the result itself. Okay, it can be both. You can get memory from the result itself and then procedure itself, but let's just think about the time itself. The result seems sort of short, that's some kind of instant gratification. You will feel extremely happy when you get the result that you always wanted, but after that doesn't go that much. And then what you will do after that is to think about the procedures that you just have walked on. The long way that you just have walked on. And then you will find yourself, what have I done? What have I done in my life? I just walked on, and then the procedure in that, did I feel happiness along the way? Did I help the people? No, you wouldn't feel like that way at the end of that result. And then that's how you can end up, that's how you can end up delving into a vicious cycle and that negative loops in your, whatever your age that you are gonna be, So that's why I think many people and the successful people have been always talking about money doesn't matter, and you should live in the present moment, because they have achieved so much in their lives, but they kind of feel like they have wasted their time by just over focusing on the result too much and not living in the present moment and not helping others along the way. And that's why I think they can feel that gaping void in their heart, like every once in a while. And I don't know why how can you be sure, you might ask? Because once I started reading English book, I started learning English by myself in 2019, like 2019 summer. And once I became familiar with the English itself, I started reading a bunch of books in English, and then I have seen a lot of successful people who have achieved so much in their lives. And while I was reading upon that, what I came to what the big takeaway that I got from that books was something like this. Be kind to others, and you can share your experiences wherever you are in. Because not everyone is perfect, and it's sort of like people don't really care about how successful you are. People care about how impactful and how influential that advice is to their own lives. And I got this kind of knowledge from How to Influence People and Win Friends by Dale Carnegie and other bunch of books, something like Atomic Habit, and from some kind of self-help gurus on YouTube, Matt Devella, Lana Blakely, Frank James, who I think are pretty influential to people in the world. So that's what I have learned. And the video went so long than I thought it was gonna be. And I'm not really sure how many of you guys have been watching this until now. And recently I got a comment like from my subscriber that thank you for sharing your experiences, and that made me really happy. And thank you very much. That your heartwarming comment gets me motivated. Really, when I say this, I really mean it. So thank you very much. And I will put my glasses on because it can make me kind of handsome. And I hope you get something out of this. And the key takeaway I want you to get here today is you're good enough so long as if you have a growth mindset. So remember that and engrave that information in your brain, or just jot it down to your own notebook, and then say to yourself, I'm good enough so long as I have a growth mindset. Okay? Pat me on the head. Pat me on the head, pat me on the knee, pat me on the knee. Anyway, thank you for watching. I sure appreciate it, and see you in the next video. Bye.